Hi, everybody, and welcome to LinkedIn or Twitter or YouTube, Facebook. I've got Lenwood Ross with me, and we're going to talk about how collaborative learning can enhance your social selling experience.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, so Lenwood, tell people where they can get hold of you. You know, what are your social networks?
Sure. You can find me on LinkedIn, Lenwood M. Ross on LinkedIn, and you can find me on Twitter, the Twitter channel. So Lenwood_Ross on Twitter. You can also get me on my website, Accelery.com, ACCELERY.com. You can actually schedule a meeting with me there if you really want to talk.
Yeah.
And you can also send me an email, lross@Accelery.com. So that's
and shout out to Sarah and Mike, who's tuning in as well. Thank you.
Hi,
very
Sarah.
Much. So Lenwood,
yes, sir.
Has the buying process changed? You know, has anything really changed, or should we still be sending letters to people? And what if it has changed? What's changed about it?
Yeah, absolutely. The buying process has changed, and it's really it's a combination of things that are really going on. There's the sort of digital aspect of it, and then there's just the pure complexity of the problems that people have to solve and how technology is really being infused all over the place. But what we see happening is that the expectations that buyers have in B2B are now starting to, they want to see the same kinds of virtual experiences that they were experiencing in B2C.
Yeah.
Right. And so those changed expectations, just change the way in which they want to interact with their B2B suppliers.
And we all have one of these, and we're used to going online and doing research. If I tell you this is the best glasses case in the world, all you're going to do is go online and you're going to research it, and you'll probably come back to me and say it's not the best glasses case in the world. Actually, Tim, there's these three, and there's this one made in Iceland, which is because that's the power of the research that we can do, and your buyers are doing.
Absolutely.
And all that research you would have done without without salespeople knowing about it.
Absolutely. That is so right. What I do oftentimes, right, is I'll go and I'll snap a picture of something.
Yeah.
And I'll say, what do you think of this? Right. And so you just see people doing much more of that. Social media has played a huge role, right? That's just in the last few years where people are really going on social media and talking to other people about not only their problems, but their solutions, the potential solutions, who are the best vendors. So nobody really accepts what the brand says anymore.
Well, the brand always says the same thing. They're brilliant. It's interesting you say that, because there's some new figures came out from Simon Kemp. But people out there, if you don't know Simon Kemp, he is probably the one person you need to follow on LinkedIn. He produces these figures, which Hootsuite and We Are Social very kindly sponsor and pay for, but he's the person that actually comes up with the figures about social media. And he said, so there's 55% of the world's population now on social media. I mean, it's colossal.
Wow.
500 million new users joined social media over the last 12 months. 500 million.
Wow, 500 million?
500 million. So there's 4.33 billion of the world's population. 55.1% of the world's population are on social. That's 16.5 new users every second.
Wow. Wow, that's so interesting. I remember I actually saw this saw your post, and I responded to it about these numbers. But I remember it must have been 2001. Okay, so 20 years ago, exactly 20 years ago, Amazon was at $7 a share And I knew the internet, it's taking off. People are going to be on the e-commerce. And I thought to myself, I need to buy up some of this Amazon. Of course, I didn't do it. And, you know, boy, oh boy. I don't know if we'd be having this conversation if I had bought as much Amazon as I wanted to.
I still remember the conversations which are around, you buy books off the internet. Do you really? What? Do they actually arrive? Well, it's like I still remember the. So anyway, thanks, Mike, for the comment. Yeah, absolutely, social proof. I mean, you know, whenever we go online, we check people out. You know, if you cold called somebody, you say, you know, I had someone who sent me an email today. It was pretty sad that he'd sent me an email, but a cold email. But I immediately went and checked him out, and everybody does that,
right?
But it also, in terms of the buying process, is the number of people increasing in so rather than it being just one person that you can cold call or one person you can email, even in my company, which is small, it's pointless actually sending it me because I'm not the person that made the decisions. I'm just the person that signed the checks. Are the number of people involved in the sale getting increasing?
Absolutely. The number of people seems to go up every year they're involved in the sale. And it's a combination of factors, right? One, it's the complexity of everything of the things that people are trying to buy, the businesses are trying to buy, and the solutions they're trying to implement. So that requires internally more people to be involved, right, in the buying process. And then there's the going out online and being on social media, and you have all these influencers, whether it's people in other companies, what did you use, what did you do, or experts in the industry, right? Or if you're strategic about your social media, it's people in your company, right? That people get to encounter and influence in the buying decision. So yeah, there's a huge number of people involved in the buying decision, and that complexity and the number of people is actually slowing the decision-making process down, and in some cases, ending it entirely.
So I mean, I'm working with a supply chain software company at the moment, and they reckon there's about 100 people involved in the sale.
Wow.
And because there's finance, there's supply chain, there's
right.
IT, there'll be the procurement and supply chain could be two different departments. You know, they're selling, you know, this is B2B enterprise sales where, you know, there can be some of their target clients can have 100,000 employees. So how do you spot those 100 people? And cold calling one person or a couple of people is just too time consuming and laborious, whereas social and actually enables you to scale and accelerates that process.
Absolutely, it makes perfect sense.
So the question for you is social selling a process? And if
yeah, absolutely.
Explain to me the steps that you would go through.
Well, the first thing that you need to do is you need to address your personal brand,
right.
Your presence on the social media platforms. That's the first thing you need to do. Then you need to think about developing your network. And by developing your network, we're not talking about going and connecting with as many people as you possibly can, because even though a large network is better, that is not necessarily going towards building a network that's going to benefit you and benefit the other people who are in the network, right? So we want to have some curation in terms of developing our network. The third thing you want to do is really optimize your presence for the thing that you want to be known for. And that's best done, you know, after you've started developing your network and you've put a little time and thought into it. And then the fourth thing that you want to do is really start to engage and build community in your network. And that is so important, where you're really turning the people in your network, the people who are closest to you, into advocates, into people who recommend you, and push your message out, which is hopefully, you know, the fifth thing that you want to do is curate and develop your own content. And that content is really to affect some change in the market. Maybe you see something in the market and you see a change, someplace the market needs to go, and through that community, through that engagement, through the impression that you've created, you push that message out through social media.
So let me wind that back in terms of your when you say your online presence.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? But surely all I have to do is I go online, I cut and paste something off the company website, and I do that because it's if it's on the website, it's legit stuff.
Right.
And I put that on my LinkedIn profile, which is a CV, and I just put that out there. Why isn't the right thing to do?
Because the thing that differentiates you from everybody else is you.
Right.
So your LinkedIn profile really needs to reflect who you are and your values and give people a sense of, who is this person that I'm engaging with? And you want that profile to make people want to know you, not your company. Selling things for your company through conversations, that comes later, right? Nothing's going to happen when someone looks at your profile other than them making a split-second decision about whether they want to be part of your network and they want you to be part of theirs.
So it's a people thing, really, because when someone looks at your profile, it's highly unlikely that they're going to look at your profile and go, do you know, I was looking for those widgets and I want to buy some. But it's about, there's Lenwood. I'd actually like to go for a beer with Lenwood and that sort of thing, rather than I want to buy those widgets.
Absolutely. It's do I like Lenwood? That's the first thing that happens before we get into even a thought process about whether Lenwood has anything valuable to say. Does Lenwood have anything valuable to add to me? The first thing is, do I like Lenwood? Because even when you talk to buyers, or anyone for that matter, you might have a lot of value, but if people don't like you, they don't want to interact with you.
Yes.
That's it. We see that happen all the time in companies.
Well, that qualifies it out, doesn't it? In terms of if you don't like someone, you're not going to unlikely to buy from them.
No. And the market's so huge. There's so many options, so many choices, right, for people in terms of the solutions and the companies and the people that they can work with. Why aggravate yourself by having to deal with someone who, is going to behave poorly? Or
so
behaves poorly.
So we know that there's an issue, and so if as a business that we're going to actually do something about it and resolve that, there's a couple of ways of doing it. One is that we could actually get some consultants in, and they would do face-to-face training. Probably something similar to this. Or what we could do is that we could go down a digital path and actually do online training. So tell me, so I've done digital training, and I'll be honest, most of it's rubbish. It's a number of videos, and you watch them, and then you go, well, yeah, this is kind of interesting, but I'm going to go back to doing my day job. So what's the difference with collaborative learning, and why is collaborative learning different?
Well, I think the most important thing about collaborative learning is the peer-to-peer engagement. It's working with people together in the platform that really makes it valuable. So we know that the knowledge retention rates, the engagement is higher because of that. But in context of social selling, it's even more important, because the social selling is really a change of behavior, and it's a big change. People need to get comfortable interacting with other people in a virtual environment. And so we use the collaborative learning as a place to get that started. We mirror the social interaction that you're going to need to that's going to need to occur out on social media in the training. But it's with your colleagues. It's all people who are on your team. And so you're getting real feedback. You're doing exercises, because in addition to being collaborative, it's also applied. So we have you do the things that you need to do and experiment. Something else that you need to get comfortable with in the digital age: experiment in the platform with your headline, with your profile summary, all these things. Get feedback from your peers, tweak it, build up your confidence before you go out on and put it on social media. So that's really the power of collaborative learning in a social for social media. And not only that, it accelerates it, because you can really do that at scale. You can do hundreds of people, you can do thousands of people.
So Peggy Budd, who's just put a comment, it's about great. Communication, which I think is true. She's just up the road from you, actually. So she's in New York rather than New Jersey. But but yeah, thanks for that, Peggy. And she also says that video training is rubbish. Yeah. I think that the great thing about collaborative learning is the fact that you're getting all the people together, and you're in effect collaborating with each other. So the great example is the summary title on LinkedIn, which is where in the classroom, what you do is you get people to go away, they think about it, and then what you say is, okay, everybody, give me, does anyone want to go first and share your summary title? But you're able to actually do that in a digital environment, and it's so powerful.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful to get that classroom-like simulation in the environment where you really can get into that exchange about what's going on and what you're doing. And people are learning not just from the trainers and learning from the material, but they're learning from each other. And that's where it really starts to stick.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't know who the LinkedIn user is. Maybe they're not in my network, but they say this is interesting. So it's good.
Awesome.
So if we take collaborative learning a little bit further, and there's some terms that are used in collaborative learning around iteration, practicing, feedback. Give me some examples about what you're doing within your collaborative learning platform around social selling in those areas.
Well, one of the things that we do actually is one of the things it's most popular. It's testing the headline, because a lot of
this is the summary headline in LinkedIn.
This is the summary headline on LinkedIn, and a lot of people are challenged by creating a headline that really stands out. They want to put their title in there, or things that they do. And really, like, for example, if you put something like business strategists in your headline, I don't know, it might be 2 million people come up when people search on LinkedIn for that.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. So what we do in the platform is we give people a survey. Okay. And we show some different headlines, and they get to choose where they think, how engaging they think that headline is. And what's great about this is it's not just me saying, okay, you got to have a really, witty or something in your headline to catch people's attention and stand out. What they see is all of their colleagues commenting on or saying which is the more interesting headline. And one of the things that we can do is we can pull in some headlines from people in your organization that are already out there, right? And see, hide the name and see how people respond to it, right? And so then you really get a sense, right, from here again, it's the peer feedback. So before you go out, and then another step actually before you go out on LinkedIn is to put your headline out there, the one that you want to test, right? For before you go out on LinkedIn, and get your peers, right, to comment on your headline.
So you've got this safe environment
Absolutely.
where everybody works for the same company, so you understand the same culture, the rules and purpose, and you're able to basically test that out before you go online. I mean, that must be really powerful.
It's extremely powerful, and it's so important. It's important for learning, and it's important for building confidence. Got to build people's confidence so that they can go out there and engage not only with their colleagues on social media, but with other people. I think on LinkedIn, engagement is up, but still most people just look. They don't comment. They might have a like here or there, but they're not really actively using social media yet to do the things that we're talking about.
So, I mean, as Peggy says, the best way to learn is to be engaged.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Retention rates go way up. And that's what you need. You got to have high retention because you got to have change behavior.
Yeah, and I love this comment here from Sarah as well, which is when she changed her headline that she had 3 people message her. I know people that when they've changed their headline to something personal, the number of views that they go up, have gone up by like 200% or so.
Yeah, I mean, I have people comment all the time about my headline. I mean, great.
Oh, yes.
This may be the best headline I've seen on LinkedIn.
Yeah. And that creates a conversation.
Yeah,
and
it's an opportunity for
great sales.
Absolutely creates a conversation. And I recently, when you have a good headline that leads to a good summary, you can have amazing things happen on social media. I, not too long ago, was able to connect with the very top of a major Fortune 500 company. He's the president of their digital transformation group. This is $1 trillion company. And he connected with me in 5 minutes and offered to help me with what I'm working on. There is no way at all I would have ever gotten access to that person without social media. And so it seems crazy to me when I still see statistics that say that for sellers, the #1 issue for them is still access, because on social media, you can access almost anyone.
Yeah.
Almost anyone.
Yeah. So one of the things that, so you've built a digital online training platform for social selling.
Absolutely.
And so is that something that we can go out and as an organization and buy? Is it something, because a lot of big organizations, when you tell it to them, will say, yeah, that's kind of interesting, but I'd like this or this or this in it. So is it fixed? Can you, so is it customized? So give me a view about all of that.
Right. Well, we're using an industry-leading platform, but then we've taken the DLA Ignite methodology and we've adapted that into a SaaS application. So those are 2 really unique things. Then when you're a very large organization, what we can do, because it's a SaaS application, is we can adapt. We can add videos from your management in there. We can take things out, add your own branding. There's lots of different things that we can do to really make it for your organization.
Okay, so in terms of we've got a collaborative platform that should be used by big organizations, and you can change stuff as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we'll take the minimum number of users is 50.
Right.
And then organizations with hundreds of thousands of users are use the platform, and so that means that this social selling program is accessible to those organizations as well.
Okay, so this is for larger organizations.
Yeah.
And as you say, what you're able to do is actually bespoke it. So if you want to have a kickoff video from the sales VP or the CEO, that can all be added. So it's basically like a skin that you can then change for the different people.
Oh, absolutely. That's where I see it going, Tim. I really see transformation as becoming an experience. something that is a combination of live events, outstanding speakers, and that occurs over an extended period of time. This program is 12 weeks, and that's how you're going to get your organization to really be able to change. So if you're an ambitious organization and you want to have some people in Europe and some people in the US live, have the rest of your global team on the platform, bring in, Tony Robbins and have him speak as part of the transformation experience, that's all possible.
Right.
You got to pay for Tony, though.
Yeah. Hi, Mohammed, as well. Just saying, Mohammed's just joined and said hi. Yeah. So, okay. So, I mean, in terms of what I wanted to cover, that's what I wanted to cover today. I think it was a quick snapshot in terms of social selling. Remind people where they can get hold of you.
You can find me on LinkedIn. So Lenwood M. Ross on LinkedIn. You can find me on Twitter, Lenwood_Ross on Twitter. You can find our website, Accelerate.com, ACCELERY.com. Set up a meeting with me there. And you can also just send me an email. Although I get hundreds of emails every day, lross@Accelerate.com.
Lenwood, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing that.
My pleasure.
My first talk in Restream. So it was. I was really interested. Thank you so much for being the first person to try it out and see how it goes.
It's really this is an amazing platform, Restream. It's really awesome. We got the questions coming in, and it's been really great. And how you were able to send them across
and thanks to Sarah, Mike, Peggy, and Mohammed, and the person from France who I just said LinkedIn user. So I'm sorry I don't know who your name is, but it's interesting the fact that it's done that. Maybe it's not somebody in my network. Yeah. Which, if that means that this is reached out through LinkedIn Live, that's a fantastic way of getting your influence out into the network.
Yeah, I really like this Restream. I think I'm gonna have to think of some ways to use this. I really like it. I like the live format. I like the questions coming in. It's really great.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much.
And thanks for all your comments and that. And we'll see you soon.
So much fun.
Yeah. Thanks. Hey, Gary. Gary said hi as well. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Mike, for the. It didn't seem to come through, but thanks for that. So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.